Image copyright PA Image caption Billy Irving thanked campaigners for their support when he arrived in Glasgow on Wednesday. A former paratrooper who spent 4 years in an Indian prison claims he was betrayed by the UK government. Billy Irving and 5 other men were imprisoned in 2013 on charges of smuggling weapons and ammunition. Their convictions were overturned last week, and Mr. Irving was the first of the Chennai Six to return home to the UK. A spokeswoman for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office said it had worked tirelessly behind the scenes to reunite the men with their families. However, in an interview with the Scottish Mail on Sunday, Mr. Irving, from Paisley, criticises the efforts of the FCO. "I can never forgive the UK government and the Foreign and Commonwealth Office," he told the newspaper. "We would have been freed much sooner if they had really engaged in our plight and fought for us. I feel disgusted and betrayed." Image copyright family photo Image caption Billy Irving was pictured shortly after his release from prison. The 37-year-old is former corporal with a parachute regiment who served in Afghanistan and Iraq. He was one of a group of veterans working for an U.S. maritime security firm on a ship in the Indian Ocean when they were picked up by the Indian Coast Guard. During their time in prison, he said he had to eat rotten food and endure rancid conditions. He said his relief at being home was tempered with sorrow at missing out on the first few years of his son's life. His fiancée, Yvonne McHugh, led a high-profile campaign to have Mr. Irving and his former colleagues released from the hellhole prison. She told the paper that former Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond was useless and uninterested, and she also criticised his successor, Boris Johnson. For Boris Johnson to hint that he had some part in the return is the height of hypocrisy, she said. "I've written to him a number of times asking for a meeting and never had a reply. How dare he?" Ms. McHugh said the prisoners would have been released 2 years ago if the FCO had done the jobs properly. Image caption Yvonne McHugh has campaigned for 4 years for her partner Billy's release. "I will never forgive the FCO," she added. "At times, the lack of interest just made everything worse. They put business ventures before lives. They complicated situations and moved goalposts. They would offer to help, then they didn't follow up. They've never said, 'Sorry, we messed up.'" In response, the FCO said that since the men's arrest in October 2013, the case has been raised more than 50 times at ministerial level and 9 times with the Indian Prime Minister. Mark Field, the Minister for Asia, visited the men in prison on the 12th of October 2017, and he met families and campaigners in London. A spokesman for the FCO said the UK government was delighted that the men were released, and the Foreign Secretary also paid tribute to those who campaigned for them. The Foreign Office worked tirelessly behind the scenes to reunite these men with their families. This included lobbying on their behalf, visiting them in prison, updating their families, and maintaining close contact with the legal team. Who are the Chennai Six? Image caption from top left, clockwise Nick Dunn, Paul Towers, Nick Simpson, Ray Tyndall, John Armstrong and Billy Irving. Nick Dunn from Ashington, Northumberland, Paul Towers from Pocklington, East Yorkshire, Ray Tyndall from Chester, Nicola Simpson from Catterick, North Yorkshire, John Armstrong from Wigton, Cumbria, Billy Irving from Connell, Argyll.